Has God ever given you a clear directive, but you switched it up and did what you thought was right, only to be surprised when the results weren't what you expected? In this episode of Matcha Ministry, we'll dive into a recap of one of our live Bible studies that discusses the importance of doing exactly what God says, exactly how He says it, because the details matter to Him. Grab your matcha and join us for an insightful discussion.
If you are in ministry, if you are in business, instead of trying to copy someone else's template, make sure that that's what God called you to do. They may be having success at doing that in their ministry. They may be having success doing that in their business, but is that what God called you to do? A lot of times, and I'll use me as an example, I used to be so afraid of being different. I didn't want to be different because I didn't want to be talked about. I didn't want to stick out. I didn't want to be the sore thumb. So I hid pieces of me or hid sides of me so that I felt that if the more I hid of myself that was different from other people, the more I would be accepted. I was more interested in being accepted by people than being accepted and affirmed by God. But the older I get, the more I learn, okay, I really want y'all to like me. Chances are you might not. But what is so important is that God is pleased. What is so important is that I am living up to His standards. Yes, Lady Sylvia, that I am becoming more and more like Him. Because at the end of the day, your opinion about me won't matter. The only opinion that will matter is God's opinion of me. So I make sure that I'm lining myself up to make Him pleased, to make sure, yes, let's see, that He is satisfied, that when He looks at me, He says, well done, thy good and thy faithful servant, that He is the one that I'm seeking to please. The details matter to God. One of the reasons Saul kept getting in trouble was because he kept being disobedient. He kept using his own thought process on everything. When God said do this, he was like, you know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to do this. I know the Lord said wait for Samuel to offer these sacrifices before we go into battle, but Samuel's taking a long time. So bring me those cattle, bring me that bullock, bring me that goat. We finna sacrifice him now. And even when God told him, kill everything, kill the king, kill everything that is walking and breathing, all the cattle, the goats, leave nothing. What did Saul do? He saved the king. He saved the best of the cattle, the best of the goats, the best of the flock, and then lied. At the nerve, I have done just as the Lord has said. I have done it. But God was looking at the details. He's not asking him, or He's not asking us to put our own little minds like, well, I was going to do it to make a sacrifice to the Lord. Details matter. When God gives us directive, He means for us to perform it exactly like He said. Even when we read in the Old Testament, when God is saying, build the ark, that's when God told Noah that. When He tells Moses to build the tabernacle, at the end of them building what God said, He said, and Moses did exactly as God commanded, and Noah did exactly as God has commanded. And that is what He is requiring of us, to do exactly what He is requiring. Not a little bit, like almost, not putting our own little twist, our own little spin to it. If we do what God said to do, we will always get what God says we can have. It's when we do our own things that we come up short. And y'all, I don't know about y'all, but I want everything that God has promised me. I want everything that He has for me. So I am going to do my several best to do it exactly like He said.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of Matcha Ministry. We hope you found it inspiring and encouraging. If you'd like to dive deeper into this topic, you can watch the entire live Bible study by clicking the link below this video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. See you next time.